Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the last video of 2023. I did one of these videos last year and it really helped me to prioritize my goals for the year, so that's what we're going to be doing again this year. We're going to be talking about the goals that I set for myself in 2023, how I did, and also what goals I'm setting for 2024. So I have several videos on my channel where I talk about setting goals, but if you haven't seen any of those before, I'll give you a brief rundown of the way that I like to set goals for myself. If you've seen my bullet journal videos, you'll know that I like to do monthly goals, but I also do set a series of goals at the beginning of each year to focus on for the entire year. And I always try to set goals in 3 different types of categories. One of those is work-related goals, one of them is personal growth, and one of them is for fun. Work-related goals are, just like they sound, things that pertain to my work life, and those can be either for my career or for my personal businesses like my social media, my Etsy shop, and stuff like that. I find that setting goals for that kind of thing can help to get you on some little steps towards making really large career steps, and they also help you feel like you're really accomplishing things when there isn't a really set system on milestones and achievements. Personal growth goals are things that don't necessarily apply to my work life, but they're things that I know will make me into a better, whole, more rounded person. Those can be focused on mental or physical health or self-care or stuff like that. And I also always like to set for fun goals for every year, which are not necessarily going to help me out in my career or in my personal life, but they're just things that maybe I've wanted to do for a while and I'm just giving myself a timeline to actually do it. I'm definitely one of those people who talks about doing a lot of things, but if I don't give myself a deadline or a timeline to do them, I probably won't do it. So it's very helpful for me to put it down on my yearly goals list to be like, okay, this is the year that I'm gonna do certain thing, even though maybe it's not going to help me in my career or whatever. And I also wanted to say, I also try to set goals that are both tangible and intangible. So what I mean by this is tangible goals are things that you can easily check off a list, like a project or a quantifiable thing that you can be like, okay, at the end of the year, I did do that many of this thing, or I did complete this project, and you can check it off your list. But I also like to set goals that are intangible, which means they aren't something that you can really quantify or say for sure yes or no I did that. They're more thinking like, this is a way that I want to focus my thinking, or this is something that I want to try and do more of this year, but there's not necessarily a number or a day attached to those things, so it's more just a way to keep it at the forefront of your brain while you're living your life. I often refer back to my goals list throughout the year just to make sure I'm doing okay, and if there's something that I forgot about, I can always go back and look at it. And those intangible goals are always good to have written down on the list, because every time I go back to my notes app and I refer to that list, I can look at that goal and be like, okay, I need to remember to work on that or focus on that. I think I'm gonna get started and start talking about my goals for 2023 and talk about how well I did. I will say, this hasn't been the best year for goals for me. I feel like I accomplished a lot of things this year, but a lot of them were things that I did not plan on doing. And that's something that I enjoy about doing goals as well, is at the beginning of the year, you have no idea what is going to happen in the year or where your life is going to take you, and your goals can just be a sort of plan, a loose plan that, you know, might not work out at all, but that doesn't mean that you aren't succeeding in lots of other ways in your life. For example, at the beginning of 2023, I had not had TikTok, and at this point on TikTok I have almost 30,000 followers. That was just something that I started in January on a spur of the moment thing, and I hadn't planned for that to be a big part of my year, but it has become a big part of my life, both time, money wise. That is not something that I had all planned for at the beginning of the year, but I would say that has been one of my biggest accomplishments of the year. All of this to say that whatever goals you set for yourself at the beginning of the year don't have to be the end-all be-all for the year. It's totally okay to add or take away goals throughout the year, or just focus your efforts on something else if something else is working better for you. So that was just to say that I haven't accomplished all of my goals for 2023, but it's okay with me, and I'll talk about why for each one. So we're going to start by talking about my work-related goals from this past year. I had 3 big work-related goals this year. The first one of those was to focus on making reels for Instagram to grow my Etsy and commission business. And this is interesting, like I said before about the TikTok thing, I definitely did focus on making videos this year, but they were mostly for TikTok, also for Instagram and for YouTube, and that did help me to grow my Etsy business and my commission business. I also wanted to say that another project that I completed this year that was not even on my list for my goals was my entire project of making all of my bullet journals digital for everyone else to use out in the world. And that was a gigantic, huge, time-consuming project that I did finish this year. Making reels and TikToks has definitely helped to grow that business through my Etsy shop. So I'm going to say that that one is a check off the list for the year. That is kind of more of a vague or intangible goal because I didn't put a number by it, like make however many videos every week, because that is just something that I can't always, you know, comply with depending on my schedule for the week. But just having it on there, focus on making whatever, is definitely helpful to keep that in the forefront of my mind whenever I look at the list. The second goal that I had for 2023 was to make one YouTube video every month. That is something that I did, and actually each month this year I almost made 2 videos every month. There were a couple months where I only made 1, but the big goal for me was to make a journal with me video every month, and that is something that I did. So I'm proud of myself for that. The third work-related goal that I had for the year was to table at another art market. In 2022, one of my goals was to table at an art market, and I did do that, and I actually had planned on tabling at the same one again this year, but it just didn't end up working out schedule-wise. And this is one of those goals that I'm okay with not achieving this year because I was able to focus all of the energy that I would have into making products for, like making physical products for an art market, into making my journal printables, working on my Etsy shop, working on my TikTok, because both of those things take a lot of time and effort to plan out. So I'm totally okay with, you know, not having that be a goal that I achieved this year. So we're going to move on to my personal growth goals from 2023. I had 5 for personal growth. The first one of those was to find a workout schedule that I enjoy. This has been something that has been on my goals list every single year since I probably stopped playing organized sports when I was like 17. And honestly, I don't think this was the year that I figured it out. I am a very inconsistent person when it comes to working out. I have not yet found a way of working out that I enjoy enough to make it consistent. So anytime I do work out, it's something random, like I'll run, or I'll go on a really long walk, or I'll do yoga, or I will do a HIIT workout, something like that. And I just am not consistent with any of those things. So I will say that this is not the year that I decided I figured out my workout schedule, but I am putting that again on the schedule for next year to see if I can figure it out in 2024. For all of you inconsistent workout girlies out there, I see you, I feel you. It's just not at the top of my priority list, but that doesn't mean we can't keep working on it. So that will be on the docket for next year. The second goal for personal growth that I had last year was to try a different budgeting format. In 2022, I was doing my budget in my bullet journal every month, which was definitely a good motivator for me to actually do it every day. And, well, not every day, I guess every month. And that definitely helped for that specific reason, to get me to do it consistently. But I didn't like having all of my personal financial information in my journal that I show publicly on TikTok and stuff all the time, because I would always have to cover it, and anytime I was journaling in public I would get very insecure about people